Peyton Manning joins us here on The Rich Eisen Show on behalf of the NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, a place of which we are very friendly with, being here in the AT&T studios. Peyton, Rich and I were actually sitting around the dinner table 2 nights ago talking about your interview with Peter King, his MMQB article about the numbness in your fingertips. And we were incredulous about this. How much truth was there to that report? How much feeling do you have in your fingertips now?
Yeah, like I said, it's something that I've really tried to stop talking about it. Peter King, I see him once a year, and he always comes in with about 10 questions that are not ordinary, everyday questions. And he always, tries to get you thinking. And so, he asked me, do you have the feeling in your 2 fingers as they come back? So we discussed that 4 years ago. And it's just been part of the adjustment that I've had to make since my surgery. It's why I have to wear that glove every now and then in certain conditions. All the years I played in Indianapolis, I never had to wear a glove in cold or in rain. And, I was just talking to Jeff Saturday. He and I played in the Super Bowl together in basically a monsoon down in Miami. Never fumbled a snap, never had a ball get away from me due to the rain, and I wasn't wearing a glove. And so that's just been part of the adjustment, right? I've had some a change in strength, a change in feeling and sensation. Obviously, I've been able to adjust, but in some very specific ways. It's just kind of part of the new chapter, coming out here to Denver and playing in a different physical state.
Well, welcome to 40 on top of all of your neck issues. I mean, it all goes south. I hate to tell you.
Right.
I mean, Rich is 46.
I'm not there yet. I'm a young 39 still, so I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I know. You're a kid. Believe me, I'm well aware of that.
Thank you.
How much feeling do you expect to get back? Have the doctors given you an update on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of it became a little bigger story than I thought it would with Peter's article. So yeah, it's hard to say.
I get it. It's not the most fun thing in the world to talk about. Susie Schuster in for Rich Eisen on The Rich Eisen Show. This is Peyton Manning on the phone with us on behalf of DirecTV. I'm curious about your trip to the Hall of Fame. You were there for Bill Polian, and you got to walk around the Hall of Fame for the first time. And we were talking about what that experience must have been like for you.
Well, I really enjoyed it. It was the first time I've ever been to Canton. About several years ago, the Colts played there, and I was injured at the time, and I wasn't allowed to make the trip. And so, because all the players that play in the Hall of Fame game get a little tour of it, and so I was really disappointed that year to miss it. So I was able to get in there, got a quick tour of the actual Hall of Fame beforehand. Probably 25 minutes. I think you really need about 3 hours in there. Ideally alone, where you can really just go through and see every single exhibit. But I certainly was proud and honored to be there, invited by Bill Polian, a man who's been very instrumental in my career and I'll always be indebted to. But I really enjoyed, of course, seeing some of my heroes, some of the game's greats, and I really enjoyed hearing the inductee speeches. I recognized a lot of the people they were thanking. I could tell how much these people meant to them. And it was really a special night.
Not to mention that you were there with Brett Favre, so that kind of makes it that much more exciting for those of us watching you guys.
Well, like I said, quarterbacks, obviously, I've always been biased toward quarterbacks, and I didn't get to see Brett that weekend, but I got to meet, Fran Tarkington for the first time. He's a good friend of my dad's. I had never met him. That was a big deal. Had a good visit with Jim Kelly. Got to wave at Troy Aikman, and so it's always fun for me to see some of those great quarterbacks, Steve Young as well.
I know the Hall of Fame is a bit like Fight Club, but do you let yourself daydream about the day that you're going to be there?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think about things like that. I don't take anything for granted. So, I was there for Bill. It was fun for me to be there. It was really a reunion of sorts for a lot of the players that I played with the Colts, Dallas Clark, Brandon Stokely, Jeff Saturday, Tarek Lynn. We were all there together. I sat right in between my two of my coaches with the Colts, Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell. We still communicate a lot, just don't get to see each other in person a lot. And so that was, very special as well.
Peyton Manning on The Rich Eisen Show. And Peyton, our second son's name is Cooper. And your dad, when we spent time with him in New Orleans at the St. Jude's event, he was so sweet telling us stories about you guys when you were little. And he obviously refers to your brother as Cupper. And
Cooper.
Cooper?
As in cookie. Like you say cookie, you say Cooper. That's
so Cooper.
There you go. There you go.
We've really tried this because of that, of course, because when Archie Manning teases you about your kids, you immediately, if you're not you take it on. So we call our Cooper now because of that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a big move for a northern family. I guess I'd have to call Rich, part of a northern family, because Cooper is more of the southern term. So that's a big step for Rich. I'm actually quite shocked.
Well, when you talk to him next, and I have to tell you off the record, just between you, me, and all the people listening, he was a little bummed out that your tour for DirecTV came when I'm sitting in the hot seat. And selfishly speaking, as his wife, I was only too happy to take the interview, if you know what I mean.
Well,
so,
no, exactly. And I wasn't bummed at all. So you can tell Rich that, just between he and I was not bummed that he was not going to be here for this segment.
Well, I appreciate that, because clearly you know where the bread is buttered in this family. So I'm just letting you know that. Hey, last question to you before we talk about DirecTV. I'm curious about this only because I know for Rich, with his career and how fatherhood has changed his approach, how has fatherhood changed your approach to football?
Well, I certainly enjoy being a father. I enjoy having my kids around at training camp practices. Coach Kubiak's real good about letting guys bring their kids around, and so I've certainly enjoyed that part of it. I got to be a NFL player's son for 8 years, and most of my memories are not necessarily from a game, but maybe being at a training camp practice or being in the locker room. And so I'm not sure what my kids will remember once they get older, but I certainly enjoy having them around. It definitely changes your priorities and changes your perspective on things.
Tell us what you're doing for NFL Sunday Ticket, please.
Yeah, obviously every year we do this NFL Sunday Ticket discussion. It means football season is getting closer, and NFL Sunday Ticket by DirecTV is still the only place you can watch every minute, Susie, of every NFL game in HD, and it's the only place, right? There's other places to watch certain parts of it, highlights, whatnot. You want to watch every minute of every game. NFL Sunday Ticket's the place to be. And this year, what's new and exciting is that you don't have to have a satellite dish to have NFL Sunday Ticket. College student living in an apartment, folks living in a condo or a townhome where you can't get a dish, right? Through NFLSundayTicket.tv, there's a new streaming service that allows you to keep up with your favorite teams, favorite players, and that's huge, right? Because there's fans all over the country that just haven't had access to it because you couldn't have a dish, and no longer is that the case. And so DirecTV and NFL Sunday Ticket is excited to bring NFLSundayTicket.tv to the table.
Peyton Manning on the Rich Eisen Show. Peyton, last week, Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live was here with Rich, and he said you were by far his favorite athlete on Saturday Night Live. We could turn that around and have you critique Eli's performance in his commercial. How do you think he did?
On his DirecTV commercial?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was funny. I'm jealous because he said they let him keep the costume. He's got his Halloween costume for the year. That's big, right? It's hard to find a new and fresh costume every year. And I thought it was really funny. I could identify with it. Eli and I have, I think, both have great appreciation for comedy. My older brother Cooper is kind of the comedian of the family, and so I think we know a good comedian, a good joke, know what a bad joke is. We have been there a lot when a person has, in a speech or at an acceptance speech, has tried to tell a joke, has bombed. Just the awkwardness, that silence, those kind of fake token claps or laughs.
Painful.
Eli and Cooper and I have enjoyed laughing at the expense of that bad comedian or wannabe comedian. And so I could really identify with Eli's commercial. I thought it was really good.
We are so happy for your time today. We really appreciate it. Would you please send our best, Rich and mine, to your dad as well as to the rest of your family?
I sure will. Thanks for having me, Susie. Tell Rich hello.
Always a pleasure. That was Peyton Manning here on The Rich Eisen Show on behalf of DirecTV.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.